Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Zock Gaming Podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet that keeps it classy. I am your host, Jay Dubious. Joining me, as always, is Donovan of No Clip Gaming.
Hey, guys.
And as I live and breathe, Josh from Missouri.
I want to know what this other podcast is. I want to watch that one.
Yeah, dude, right? What the fuck?
And we're going to start out today's episode how we start out every single episode with the what have we been playing lately. What have you been playing lately, Josh?
Rogue Legacy. Just picked it up about a week ago, and it is really, really fun. I was actually surprised at the difficulty. First couple times I ran through, I just got my ass handed to me.
Before we get into Rogue Legacy, I want you guys to define the term roguelike.
Roguelike. Alright. It's basically a dungeon crawler type game. Usually has like ASCII graphics or really simple grid-based sprite graphics. Generally, the main features are permadeath. When your character dies, he's gone. You got to start a new character, and randomly generated or procedurally generated dungeons. So it's different every time you run through it.
So would you consider Diablo to be roguelike?
Kind of. It's more adventure RPG than I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say hardcore mode is definitely fairly close. I mean, I feel like if you want to talk about like a really like a good example of a roguelike would be something like Binding of Isaac. You know what I mean? Those are quick deaths. You die all the time. They're fast. The dungeon's always the same. It's pretty ruthless. I mean, that's really one of the big things I feel like in roguelikes is that they're unforgiving, man. It's nightmarish. It's so bad.
Yeah. The other main feature and the reason for the permadeath is just roguelikes are brutally, brutally difficult. One of my favorite games I've played in ages is a little roguelike called Dungeon Crawl. And I got some of my friends to start playing it by telling them I have never played a game that I felt hated me more than this one.
Dude, Dark Souls.
No,
Dark Souls
not even. Dark Souls has nothing on Dungeon Crawl. Dark Souls is a gimmicky game. You can, once you figure out the trick to a boss, you can beat the boss generally without too much heartache. Dungeon Crawl will just bend you over and demolish you.
So how do you feel about Rogue Legacy? Is it good? You like it?
I think it's really good. It's pretty simplistic. I mean, it kind of almost feels more like a Metroidvania mixed with a roguelike. So it's randomly.
Love me some Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling platformer beat 'em up with exploration, but the dungeon is always different, and it's really, really fun. I have a lot of fun with it. Not super far in it yet, but
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's great. It's one of those games, and it's another reason why I like the roguelikes, is I don't enjoy games that are really hard, but are pointlessly difficult, you know what I mean? Like, I understand enemies that are difficult, but I don't understand enemies that are difficult, like, and then you have to fight 20 of them at a time. Like, roguelikes are really difficult, but I don't necessarily feel like they're frustrating, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the big things is, strategy and approaching situations in the right way. Usually whenever you screw up, you're thinking, oh man, I should have done this, I could have done that, oh, why did I get myself in this situation? You usually blame yourself for dying and not just call bullshit on the game.
So is it like Super Meat Boy hard?
Well, it's a different kind of hard. I mean, the death rate is definitely comparable.
Yeah, you die a lot.
Roguelikes typically usually feature permanent death, right? That's like usually a
that's
stable
basically
series.
one of the defining features of why it would be called a roguelike.
I don't know why we haven't even mentioned it. It's like the main gimmick of the game, but for people who don't know anything about Rogue Legacy and why it stands out as like a roguelike is the fact that when your character dies, they die for good, but instead of just generating another character, like the one you selected, like another life or something like that, instead what it does is it'll you get a choice of 3 randomly generated children from their previous character, so they'll carry over traits, and gives it a slight RPG element, but they'll also pick up birth defects like ADHD and colorblind, things like that. There are different classes to it, so it's really cool because you actually get this huge family tree that it's, you can watch yourself like learn to play the game as you move through it. It's, it's really good documentation of how you play it. Like everybody's family tree looks different, you know what I mean?
It's pretty cool.
The only thing I would say that kind of disqualifies it from being called a roguelike is the fact that there are permanent stat gains. Like whenever you upgrade stuff, you get permanent upgrades. Your equipment carries over, which kind of almost disqualifies it from being roguelike, because usually roguelikes you start from square one every time.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty much just like
It's sort of evolution of the idea.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like thinking of it as New Game Plus. You know,
Pretty much.
like whenever you play a New Game Plus in the game, all of your equipment and shit carries over. Like even in roguelites, so it's just sort of like you don't beat it, you just get a New Game Plus, pretty much.
Which is cool. I mean, that's almost a staple of more modern games, having the RPG elements built into it. And I mean, without that, it would feel. I imagine it'd feel quite old and dated.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I like the idea because it would get more people to play it. Because roguelike games tend to have a very, very steep learning curve, and a lot of people don't like dying and losing everything every 10 minutes or however long you survive.
Yeah, I know I don't.
10 minutes,
Or-
dude. You're
or-
way better than I am. What the fuck?
The worst is, like, I've had a character in the dungeon crawl. I've put probably 6 hours into one of them, so I'm, in the lowest parts of the dungeon. I'm close to beating the game. I screw up once, I'm dead. There goes all that time spent.
Really?
I've done that several times.
I would be. That would make me furious. I think. I don't think I could. I don't think that's good at all.
It's definitely kind of a game you have to be. It's the kind of genre of a game you have to be a masochist to truly
Yeah, I was
enjoy.
gonna say it's a bit of a masochistic genre.
Oh, I love it. They're great.
Oh yeah, dude. Fast paced, tons of action, everything dies. Oh, I mean, now that you mention it, it is a pretty good way of putting it. I really do feel like Rogue Legacy is just the next roguelite. And I mean, I saw it when it was on Greenlight, and I voted for it to get made and everything. And it's just watching how much work they put into it for like a small studio. I mean, it's great. The sprites are gorgeous. I actually really enjoy the level design. Like the dungeons are procedurally generated, but most of the time in procedurally generated games, especially in roguelites, you'll see rooms of pretty much the same size. But like some of the rooms are fucking huge, like gigantic. It's ridiculous. Like not even the bosses. Like you'll just find some random room that's just been built in. It'll be gigantic, and it might have treasure in it, but you can sure as shit bet it's gonna have like 100 dudes. Like it's ridiculous. It's so good. I think it's great. I'm really happy about it. I mean, I'm on a gamepad too, so.
I actually play with a keyboard, but
That was my problem with it. I got my hands on a copy of Rogue Legacy, and none of my gamepads worked with it. I have 3 gamepads, and not a single one would map to it, and I couldn't get Joy to Key to work with it either, which was a huge pain in the ass. So I tried playing with the keyboard, and I can't play side scrollers with keyboards. So
You have an Xbox, don't you?
I do, but I don't have a wired controller.
You can get a. I don't know if they still make them anymore. They used to make these little wireless receivers you can plug into your computer. They're from Microsoft, and they're basically just a wireless receiver for the.
I
360.
need one of those.
I bought one for like $5, and it's been great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gamepads are sweet. Like, it's kind of funny, as somebody who's very, like, PC master race, I am super pro gamepads on a lot of games.
I actually.
Yeah,
play it on
I was
keyboard.
surprised to see that you played Borderlands 2 on the PC with a gamepad.
I don't know what it is. It just feels more natural for me. I really, I don't
Now that's weird.
know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was
see,
like,
that's what I'm saying. It's a first-person shooter, and it's really, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me having years of console gaming, but I mean, there are games that I'll play on a keyboard, like Gotham City Imposters, games like that. I'll play on the keyboard, but I played all the BioShocks on a gamepad. I don't know what it is, man. I really like the feel. Borderlands just feels right on a gamepad. I don't know what it is. That, and I'm playing Krieg, so I don't really need to be accurate. I just need to be loud. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. So many good quotes from Tiny Tina's. But anyway.
well, and have you seen all that stuff recently about how Tiny Tina, people are saying she's racist, like it's a racist character?
But I have not, surprisingly.
I think she's a pretty good parody of your normal internet-going 13-year-old.
Yeah,
So-
I would agree.
So I guess racism might factor into that a little bit. Not to say it's a good thing to have there, but you can't blame it for not being accurate if that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Well, I just never really felt like it was too blatant. But I could just be misinformed. Haven't played the new DLC or anything like that, so.
I haven't played through Tiny Tina's DLC yet. As far as the storyline goes, I didn't see any racism from her, but I haven't played her DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit into the DLC. I mean, I'm not, only like 30, 40 minutes in, so I can't definitively say. But I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I just read a few articles about it the other day, and some people were saying that they thought the way she talked was racist.
I don't really.
I
That
don't-
seems.
I think that's just stupid bullshit.
Yeah,
It's just some weird knee-jerk reaction. Because if you want to point to racism in a video game, you can just point at Resident Evil 4. Be like, no, no,
Uncharted.
that's racism.
Yeah. Oh, you mean 5, right?
No, I mean 4. No, yeah, oh no.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure you mean 5.
Yeah,
I decided Resident Evil 5 was actually really racist when I was standing there with a Magnum shooting tribesmen who had shields and spears.
Oh yeah, that's bad part, because at first I was like, this isn't racist, and then I got to the swamp area and I'm like, oh, there's
Yep,
the
nope,
there,
out the window.
there
This
it
is
is.
bad.
Good job.
Yep. Those
Good job,
huts are
Capcom.
made out of mud. Ooh, man, that's brutal.
They're wearing Zulu masks and throwing spears at me. That's, my god. What is wrong with you, Capcom?
They're
Yeah.
Japanese people tend to be somewhat racist.
And then at the end of it, too, at the end of that section, you find the diary from the little girl who's like, I don't understand what's going on. This parasite's infected my tribe, and we've all gone from, like, civilized normal people to just, like, communicating in clicks and throwing spears. And I'm like, okay, this is... Oh, my God. Really? Okay. Cool. All right, Capcom. That is totally PC. Good job. Thumbs up. Way to go.
5 out of 5 would play again.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
So you been playing anything else lately, Josh, or just Rogue Legacy?
Other than the usual League of Legends.
League of Legends, the MOBAs.
Yeah, the must staples.
Man, I tell you what though, I think
gotta feed the monkey.
me and Donovan definitely can agree. We've both been playing a bit of Smite lately.
Oh, yeah, especially with the new God being out. Oh, man, is he ridiculous. Ooh, he is cool. He's a lot of fun to play. Really high skill cap, but really high impact, too, so he's great. Huge fan.
Man, I would definitely like to see Smite become like a huge game when it comes to like the gaming tournament scene or whatever.
Well, the competitive scene isn't really big, but it's consistent. So, I mean, one would think it's just going to keep growing, especially once they get to launch.
It'd be cool to see more of it. I've seen the game played, and one of the big reasons I don't think I've tried it yet is the visual style really turns me off for some reason. I don't know what it is.
You should consider looking again. The past, like, 2-3 patches, they've done literally massive visual overhauls. The game is it's breathtaking. Like, seriously, it's gorgeous.
It's pretty good looking on my computer for sure.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad looking, just something about the style. Just the stylistic choice. Really, I just look at it, I'm just like, no, I don't like that.
And
I can't really put like my finger exactly on why. Like, it's not really a rational. Like, oh, I don't like that. You know, they use too many of this or not enough of that. No, I just look at it, and I'm just thinking like, I don't like that.
See, for me, the old style was a little too cartoony and a little too bright, but they've made everything, like, besides just putting fuck tons of detail and everything, they've all changed it to, like, more realistic and earth tones. So, I mean, the game looks gorgeous. It really does.
I might get around to checking it out sometime.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should play a game after the podcast. Why not?
Yeah, right. I mean, I was actually really excited because my partner on NoClip, Clay, he went to Rooster Teeth Expo, and I'm going to go ahead and show this off. He got me one of these, a free exclusive collie skin for Smite.
Oh, nice. There's a bit of a glare when you were showing it.
Oh, well, it's just a Smite God skin. It's just one of those coupons that you can only get at a convention.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, dude, I feel so fancy. I feel so special. I was wearing it the other day.
Mr. Fancy, I didn't even go to that convention, but I got swag.
Dude, I know. This shirt, too. He got me the shirt. There you go. More swag. Good stuff. But actually, it's funny kind of talking about Smite and also talking about gamepads. You can map Smite to a gamepad. And I tried it.
I could see that working, the way the game...
It's really fucking hard.
I can see it working the way the game is played. I mean,
but it's nothing like...
I've seen a dude play League of Legends with a racing wheel.
Like, it's not mechanically bad.
Play League of Legends with a racing wheel?
Yeah, he mapped. He was just like, I did it on a dare or something like that. He mapped his controls to a racing wheel, and he had like basically he used like I think left and right would move the cursor left and right, and then the gas pedal. When he pressed it down, cursor would move down, and when he let it up, it moved up.
What the hell did he win?
It had like different. His team did. He played Sona, so he did kind of all right.
That's insanity.
It was pretty silly, but you know what? If you can get used to that, I guess you can get used to anything.
Well, no, see, the people Hi-Rez even said when they were making Smite, because it's the third-person view, you know what I mean? It's like a fixed camera. Like, since conception, gamepads were something they had kept in mind, and I saw a thread that finally explained, like, how to map the controls to a gamepad. And and mechanically speaking, it plays fine. It's just really fucking hard.
Yeah,
I
from
bet.
what I've seen it played, yeah, see the style I could definitely see work with the gamepad.
Yeah, like honestly, it's not bad. If it's something I put a lot of time into, it's something I could probably do. But it's one of those things where, and I sound so hypocritical talking about gamepads and accuracy after talking about playing Borderlands on one. But it's just like on a game where all of the auto attacks and every single spell is a skill shot. Like it's just so hard to aim with a controller. Like the game feels more hectic, that's for sure. But it's good. I kind of like it. It was surprising.
You know, speaking of mapping it to a controller, it'd be interesting to see Smite appear on a console, like to actually have like a console MOBA.
They have 2 console MOBAs, and I actually play one regularly, not on a console on Steam because they have a PC port for it too. But one of the big ones is Defenders of Middle-earth, I think is what it's called. But I don't know. It's Guardians of Middle-earth. That's what it is. Guardians of Middle-earth. And it's a MOBA that you play with a controller. It's an isometric view, like most MOBAs are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all Lord of the Rings characters.
That's kind of cool.
It actually got really good reviews. IGN even liked it quite a bit.
And is it available on the PS3 and 360? I take it.
Yeah, it's on both of their marketplaces, or I'm pretty sure it's on the Xbox Live. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. And then the other one, and the one that I play, is called Awesome Knots. I don't know if you've ever seen it or heard anything about it.
Never heard of it.
I played the Steam version.
Yeah, I love Awesome Knots. Awesome Knots is hilarious.
I have way too many gripes with the game to really say I like it much.
See, my only big gripe with it is there's no way it can be taken at a serious or competitive level in any way, shape, or form. But it's a great way to waste a few hours, especially if you're like drinking. But
the problem is the first time I ever played it, a buddy got me to play it, and we joined the game. Just joined the first game we ever joined. There was already like 3 people on the other team that were like level 11, and I was level 1. This doesn't seem right.
Boo.
Yeah,
And
see, you can.
I tried to exit. Like he's like, oh, maybe we exit and wait a minute. We can join a new game. Nope, pumped us right back in the same game.
Oh, that's really weird. Yeah, I really like Awesome Knots because it's you'd probably really like it, Jay. It's a 2D side-scrolling MOBA.
Oh, what? That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like a 2D beat 'em up MOBA style.
Yeah, it's really great, and it's teams of 3, and the whole theme of the game, right, is it's supposed to feel like an 80s action cartoon.
Yes, that
like,
sounds like it's exactly something I'm into.
There's like a space cowboy and a lizard with a sword.
Yeah, a French lizard who's an assassin, and like Froggy G, the frog rapper.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in. Sold. It's good.
5 out of 5 would play again.
But yeah, the other thing I like about it is if you get the PC port, all of the characters are free. You don't have to buy them as DLC.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even know that game was on console. Actually, I thought it was just I thought it was PC only.
It actually it had a pretty big following when it launched on PS3, or at least when I saw it, because it was on PS Plus for a while, and so when it was on PS Plus, a lot of people were playing it. So, I mean, honestly, it's not bad. Like I said, it's really lighthearted. It's not really balanced too perfectly. There's no real competitive edge to it, but it's a really fun way to waste a couple hours. I have a good time with it.
Nice. So, what have you been up to lately, Donovan? What have you been playing?
Well, let's see. Besides Smite, since Cronus is out, really excited because they just added Abaddon to Dota 2. He's on the beta client, so he'll be on the live client tomorrow. And also,
didn't Dota just go live? It's not beta anymore.
Yep, that's the other thing. Dota is now fully live. It's no longer in beta.
Is Dota free to play?
It's free to play. The way that it works now is Valve bought a ridiculous amount of servers, like a seriously stupid amount of servers, because it's actually the largest game following they've ever had. So what they're doing is
really bigger than Half-Life or any of the Half-Life mods.
The numbers that they released with the launch, like the actual launch, is the largest number of active players at one time last month, right? Was 300,000. With a 3 million player user base a month.
That sounds about right.
That's like some World of Warcraft numbers almost.
Yeah, it's very comparable to League of Legends. League of Legends is still larger, but I mean, it's getting there. So what they're doing now is, since the beta's over, what you do is it's free to play, so you download it and everything. But when you download it, it gives you a number, because they're not letting everyone on at one time. Because they don't want to do what a lot of people do, and like what Blizzard Coffee has done before, where they'll launch a huge game with a massive following that a ton of people want to play, and then they overload the servers, and the servers burst into flames, and people die. It's terrible.
What was it? Error 93. I think that was
43. Error 43.
Their user base ends up DDoSing their servers, basically.
Yeah, so that's the way that they're handling the launch, and I honestly think it's a pretty smart way to handle it. In all seriousness, because Dota 2 is going to be the real big threat to League of Legends. There's no way around it.
It's really the only thing that's going to even get close. I mean, even StarCraft 2 is losing. Even in Korea, StarCraft 2 is losing to League of Legends. Which
damn.
I just heard about this earlier today. One of the major broadcasting companies that used to basically got started broadcasting StarCraft picked up some League of Legends stuff, and KESPA, which is the Korean Esports Association, which basically used to be the StarCraft governing body, picked up League of Legends, and now they're partnered with like some TV company that does that. So like League of Legends is huge over there. Like StarCraft 2 isn't even close to it.
Man, I want to go to Korea. I think that'd be a good time.
Oh yeah, drink some soju. Oh yeah.
Well, I lived in K-Town in Los Angeles, and I definitely had my fair share of soju when I was there.
Drink some soju, watch some StarCraft. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, thinking about it from a competitive point of view, just getting back to the whole League of Legends overtaking StarCraft, you have to think of it from an accessibility point of view. You know what I mean?
It is true. League of Legends, anybody can sit down and play. Whereas StarCraft,
zero price of entry.
Like, oh my God, this game is so hard. I'm so bad at RTS.
StarCraft, you have to buy, then you have to get 1 billion trillion actions per minute. Like, it is a very unforgiving scene to get into, especially competitively. I mean, the best I ever did was me and one of my friends got into the top of gold in StarCraft 2. And that was the best I could ever do. I could never out-micro anything better than that. I never got into Diamond, so...
Dude, the competitive scene for StarCraft is just terrifying. Like, watching the dudes who do it, it is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's very... Donovan's absolutely right. The game definitely is very very scary from a just starting point of view.
I mean, like, silver and bronze aren't too bad because it's mainly people just doing stupid photon cannon rushes and shit like that. Oh my God, it makes me so mad, dude. I hate the cheese so much. But, gold's pretty fun because gold you actually get to try out strats and things like that. But
it's defending off the 9th Terran planetary in your main.
Yeah, exactly, man. But I mean, if you can't break out of like 100, 150 APM in gold, you're not gonna make it into diamond. I mean, it's like a DPS check, and wow, it's sad.
Yeah, my last time when I was really into StarCraft 1, I think my APM maxed out at 70.
Oh God, I wish. Yeah, dude.
Not good. I mean, that's average, I guess, but like I played Zerg, so whenever I do mutas, I think it was up to like 140-ish.
Oh well, there you go, dude. As long as you're active in battle.
No, it's just mutas. I mean, everything else is just like. I still get to that point where I'm like.
Move.
Yeah, I still get to that point where I'm just like, I'm fighting. Oh no, I have like 10,000 minerals. Oh no, I'm losing. Oh no, I lost. Oh.
Yeah, that's why I always play Terran. I'm really good at macroing, but fucking terrible at microing. Ooh, so, I can manage an entire base. I can make sure units are always coming out. I can make sure that every worker's busy, that, my economy is always spent. I can do that perfectly. The microing is, oh man, so fucking bad. Oh, it's not funny.
That's funny. I usually play as Protoss.
Yeah, whatever, noob.
Carrier has arrived. Like,
Carrier has arrived.
But yeah, so that and Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, you've been playing that New Leaf.
Isn't that cute?
Lots and lots and lots of Animal Crossing. I mean, I don't. If any of you guys have played Animal Crossing before, it's definitely. I feel like you can sort of compare it to The Sims in the sense that all the Animal Crossings kind of just felt like, Animal Crossing again.
They're very relaxing.
Yeah, but New Leaf has so much shit in it. Like, you can become a mayor and put in ordinances and go free diving and go to an island and open new stores and upgrade stores. and things like that.
Do they still have those little what are they called, like graboids or something-oids?
Oh, the
or...
gyroids? Yeah, absolutely.
gyroids. I in the very first Animal Crossing, the only thing I ever really did other than play the crap out of Balloon Fight on the little in-game NES was I filled my entire house with gyroids and I would turn them all on at once. It was like the cacophony of hell.
Dude, oh, they're so
It was
much fun. I
amazing.
love those little robots so much. They're adorable. They're adorable. And like now you can change like the layout of your house and what kind of siding and fence and shit. Like there's so much to do. Like it's ridiculous because I was expecting, you know, maybe a couple new features, but it's seriously like an entire new game. It's ridiculous.
Have they updated the fishing? Is the fishing a little more involved now, or is it still just throw lure?
There are now like 3 or 4 different classes of fish, and you can catch fucking sharks. Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for
Shark
fishing.
fin soup.
I'm always a sucker for fishing mini games and games. I mean, seriously, who here hasn't wasted hours playing Ocarina of Time?
Oh, no,
God, dude. Yeah, that shit's ridiculous if you want to max out on that and get the heart.
On the quest for the Hylian Loach.
Dude, oh my god, I got that Hylian Loach. Oh my god.
I never could catch it.
Oh my god, dude.
I got him to bite a couple times, but he got away every time.
Oh, so
my girlfriend's she beat Ocarina of Time twice in the last year, and she has spent way too much time sitting near that goddamn pond trying to get that fish.
Dude, it takes so long. Me and my buddy literally sat down, and he just had a case of Rolling Rock, and he's like, we're going to get this fucking Loach. And we literally sat there, like, all night. I'm not even kidding there, just sitting there. Just sitting there, going to get that fish. Going to get that motherfucker. Like, it was ridiculous, dude.
I think there's something about that. There's something about that fishing game.
You know what was the worst, though, like for tedious shit in the game, was trying to get the golden chocobo in Final Fantasy VII. Did you guys ever attempt the fool's quest of doing that?
God, what's the phrase I'm looking for? No? I think that's what I'm going to grab.
Me and my cousins logged, I think, 116 hours trying to get, like, breeding the golden chocobo.
That's not surprising. Oh my god. You gotta breed a green one, and a black one, and a yellow one, and an orange one, and a spider. Because, you know, fuck you. Like, whatever, okay.
And it's all just to get that one secret materia on that island, because the gold chocobo can go over, like, the oceans or whatever. So.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, which materia is that? Isn't it Knights of the Round?
Yeah, it is Knights of the Round. It's pretty cool, like, there's, like, a ton of knights that just, like, completely fuck up the enemy, and like when you cast it, it's like, oh well, I gotta wait like 5 minutes because the spell takes that long. It's just a dude, like, they get bashed by a knight and then they get bashed by another knight, and it takes like at least 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think I've seen the cutscene before, and it takes forever.
It's actually really funny. I have a bunch of like, you know, the vinyl collectors figures that you can get, like the Play Arts figures. I have one for Knights of the Round.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's seriously just like this big. It's just like a block of dudes.
A block of dudes.
Yeah, that sounded really erotic. Like, in a pretty serious way.
that should be our title for this episode.
So Donovan, what do you got on your bookshelf? I don't know, but it's topped with a block of dudes.
The Neckbeard Power Hour.
With blocks
of dudes. I'm telling you, it's a good title.
So you guys want to talk about some games I've been playing lately? I actually have a few. I want to talk about a few.
Okay, yeah, let's hear them.
All right, the first one I've been playing lately is Pocky and Rocky for the SNES.
Love that game.
So brutal. Fuck that. So brutal.
Pocky and Rocky and Pocky Rocky 2.
Extremely high difficulty, but quite the classic despite its extremely high price tag. It's worth like $55 now, and I think it's down from 80 something. So if you bought that game back in the day, you didn't lose $1 on that value.
I mean, it looks great, but it's just to me that it seems like one of those games that is just unforgiving. And,
bullet hell.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's a bullet hell game that you never expected to be a bullet hell game.
That's fair.
Yes,
oh, look, she's cute, and she has a little squirrel friend.
A little raccoon
buddy.
Leaves. And then the music is all, like, you know, very Japanese. there's cherry blossoms, and oh my god, I'm getting murdered.
Yeah, and then everything in the fucking world wants you dead.
You came to the wrong neighborhood, girl.
Hey, there's a kappa in that river. Nope, it'll kill you.
It's like fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the NES. Okay, the other game I've been playing lately is Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse.
Ooh, that was actually a really good one.
I beg to differ nowadays, actually. This is one of the only games I've ever traded in my entire life.
Wait, I'm thinking of the Castle one. Castle of Illusion?
You might be thinking Magical Quest. Like back in the day, man, I remembered it being really good, and I went back and played this recently, and man, it's kind of a turd.
I'm not gonna lie, it's got some corn in it. Like,
yeah, it is. I mean, it's really fucking easy. Which back in the day, like an easy game that you could actually beat was pretty cool, because you couldn't beat most games back in the day. But like, the enemies in the game, they take so fucking many hits to take out. Like, I was playing through the last level and noticed just a standard enemy in the level. I had to jump on his head 4 times just to kill him, which is kind of ridiculous. And the first boss, you have to jump on his head like 20 times to beat it. And it's not hard. It's just fucking frustrating because it takes for fucking ever to kill any enemy. I not a fan. Not a fan anymore. I used to regret trading that game in, but now I realize why I traded that game in back in the day.
I have to go track down a copy of that and see. I think I know somebody who still owns a whole bunch of old SNES games. Because if my rose tinted goggles are that thick, man.
Yeah, man, my retro goggles were fucking shattered when I played that. The other game I've been playing lately too is The Last of Us multiplayer. Have you dived into that yet, Donovan?
Yeah, I played a bunch with my roommate.
It's pretty cool, I gotta admit. Like that, what is it, like the supply run or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, mechanically speaking, it really does remind me a lot of the Uncharted multiplayer, like a ton.
Really, I haven't played the Uncharted multiplayer.
Oh, I loved it. I'm not speaking against it. Like, I generally don't like the Uncharted series because I think Nathan Drake is a piece of, just a giant steaming lump. But the multiplayer in those games is great. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Played them for hours. And I mean, The Last of Us is no real different. I like how they have the whole metagame factor into with the supplies and everything.
It's cool that they have the supplies. I almost think of it as like it's almost like the evolution of almost like a Call of Duty series. Instead of like leveling up your like classes and stuff, your camp like levels up and you have more survivors and whatnot for doing well.
Yeah, like I think it's great. Once again, Naughty Dog proving that they can make third-person multiplayer not suck.
And that's not a easy task to do. Third-person multiplayer isn't exactly one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games try, but a lot of games really do not do it good. Another game that I really like the third-person multiplayer is Gears of War, and I mean, there just aren't a lot of games you can speak highly of that are like that. You know what I mean? I mean, most of them drop the ball.
I bought Gears of War a little while ago. I got the like the 1 and 2 pack plus like the DLC or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Played it for a little while. Just I couldn't get into it. I mean, I know Gears of War is a huge series, but I think it's just that I was playing it alone. Maybe I think it's meant to be played co-op, and that was my problem.
Gears of War, you really need to play with a friend because generally your AI teammate is completely just drools on himself, useless.
That's giving Dom a little bit of credit. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, he'd probably kill himself while drooling. Yeah,
it's pretty bad. But I mean,
even
like
with a friend, sometimes the AI screws you over. I remember there's one section of the game where it happens a couple times in each game where you split up with even if you're playing with 2 players, like player 1 will go this way and player 2 will go that way, and then you each have an AI opponent with your opponent. Each have an AI little helper with you, and 9 times out of 10 it's one of those little douchebags that'll die, and you're trying to keep them alive.
Yeah, those sections are great though. I always love that. I played through those games with my buddy Michael, and oh man, so much fun.
It was specifically, I remember this one specifically because it took us like 3 hours because it was Gears of War 2, I believe, and you go into these separate elevators, and there's these long hallways that are like little catwalks around kind of a chasm in the middle. I think it's right before you fight that big evil monk dude.
Oh
Like
yeah.
whatever. And yeah, so I had one guy with me. My guy just didn't do anything. He just stayed behind, didn't shoot anything, didn't help at all, but he didn't die, which is fine. The guy my roommate had with him was completely suicidal. He would run forward and try to chainsaw boomers to death. So we had to
I mean,
get perfect at this, like, because he had to just blitz forward and keep this guy alive. I had to clear my rooms in record time so I could get the long shot and start sniping over on his side just to keep this idiot AI alive. We had to basically speed run it like pixel perfect. Just fucking with that. I don't know why he went retarded. I've never heard of anybody else having that problem at that section, but
it actually kind of made me laugh a little bit. Getting back to The Last of Us a tiny bit. I heard somebody say that you can't praise The Last of Us for it being an escort mission because in an escort mission you have to protect the person. And
Ellie's actually competent.
Yep, boss, generally speaking.
Does it really qualify as being an escort thing then?
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it.
I thought that was a pretty funny point when I saw it. It made me laugh a little bit.
So, other game I've been playing lately is Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, I told you'd like that game, dude.
It's pretty cool. I really wish the camera was back like a couple of feet because like your avatar of Batman takes up like half the screen half the time, which I find a little bit annoying. Oftentimes I find myself crouching everywhere just because it zooms the camera out a little bit.
Yeah, I loved that game when I played it, though. I mean, I think you could say that with the series, the camera could be placed a little bit better, but oh man, I don't know how far you've gotten in that game yet, but the boss fights, man, everything about the boss fights in that game is the whole reason I love it so much.
The Joker's definitely very Mark Hamill in it.
Which is great. That's the Joker you want to see, you know what I mean?
It is Mark Hamill, actually. It literally is.
Oh, really? He actually did. He voiced it for the game.
It was the last time. They said it was the last time he will ever do the Joker.
Crazy. Personally, I think my favorite Joker might be Jack Nicholson, or the '66 Batman from 1966. Really liked that Joker.
Gotta go. As far as the voice, I mean, Hamill never obviously appeared in front of camera as the Joker, but he was just, I don't know, he gets that perfect laugh down. His voice is just, that's whenever I think of the Joker.
Exactly.
That's always the voice I think of.
You think of the Joker and you think of Luke Skywalker. That's all there is to it.
When you read the comics too, you always read it with Mark Hamill's version when the Joker's in it, especially Death of the Family recently.
Oh, I would pay to have him do a voiceover for that. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the dialogue in that? Oh my God, it's breathtaking.
Yeah, it would be quite good.
Not to nerd out a little bit there on the New 52 or anything, but.
Or if you want to nerd out a little bit more, I also have you checked out the Batman Year Zero?
No, I haven't. I heard not very good things.
The newest issue just came out actually today, Wednesday. But I haven't read that yet. I read last month's issue. It's good. I liked where it's going. I like it a lot. Also, I don't know if you've been checking out the new DC New 52 comics, but they've been using these high gloss covers on other comics lately, which is just awesome. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm. It's gorgeous.
But enough about comics.
Yeah, that's a little off topic.
Yeah, whatever, nerds.
See ya, nerds. Like.
So, Josh, do you want to talk about EVO a little bit?
Yeah, upcoming this weekend, 12th to the 14th, is Evolution Series Championship, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. Oh man, I'm so looking forward to it. It's gonna be so good. They got 8 major games and had a little bit of a controversy over one of them, which is
with Nintendo, right?
Yeah, in light of Nintendo really being unhappy about people streaming their games and whatnot. We mentioned in a previous episode about them taking stuff down like YouTube Let's Plays and whatnot.
Which they lifted too as well.
They sent a C&D to the EVO organizers saying you can't stream Smash Bros. They can still have the tournament, but they can't stream it. They can't show it online. And which is funny because the entire reason Smash Bros. This is the first time Smash Bros. Has ever, actually no, it's been at EVO a couple times. And every year something always happens terrible with the Smash game. It's just I don't know what, but anyway. There was a vote. They had the main 7 games, the 7 main fighting games that are out right now. and they had a vote of what the 8th game would be. And the way you voted was you would donate money to it's a cancer research charity, and then you vote for a game. The most money basically voted for each game. The one with the most money would be the 8th game. And there was a bunch of choices. There was Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl, and that stupid, ridiculous My Little Pony fighter someone's making.
That's awesome.
Oh, Fighting is Magic?
Yes, that thing, which actually is the reason that Hasbro sent them a C&D.
Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, man.
But then Lauren Faust apparently got on board and gave them all new artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay.
Well, hey, she's a kind-hearted person. Hey, don't make that face. Don't hate. Don't hate. We can all love and have friendship and magic. You don't have to be like that just because you have facial hair.
I live on cynicism and hatred. Bitter.
It's my fuel.
Jade.
It's my gasoline.
But yeah, so that got pulled off, and then Smash Bros. 1, they donated like almost $90,000 to get Smash Bros. And it's Melee, by the way, not Brawl. So no stupid tripping and crappy stages and all the other problems with Brawl. And Nintendo got a huge backlash on Twitter and Facebook and all sorts of other places, and they decided to let them go ahead and have it, which is funny because I was like, on the one hand, I was like, man, this really sucks that corporations getting involved and be like, no, you can't stream our game, bad for you. But at the same time, not having Brawl on the schedule meant I could have watched more King of Fighters 13. Now I'm torn. I want to watch more King of Fighters.
Want that SNK shit?
Man, I love King of Fighters. It's so good. Yeah, that's probably pretty much what I'm going to be doing all weekend, is glued to Street Fighter and King of Fighters, and
I'll be at the hotel.
maybe a little bit of Marvel here and there.
Final weekend, though. Last weekend at the hotel. Looking forward to it.
Gonna sabotage the place. Announce it to the internet. Incriminate yourself.
Yeah, like stick my balls on the fucking sheets or something, take pictures of it, and put it online.
Put it on Reddit.
That sounds like a great idea.
Take a dump in one of the dryers.
What was it, like that fucking the Domino's that had that scandal a few years ago? Yeah, that's not me.
I ain't going out like that, man.
Yeah, no, I put in my 2 weeks, and I'm trying to leave on good terms. So yeah, at Evo,
burn every bridge you can.
What's the format for Smash Brothers at these like big tournaments? Is it like 1v1, like 4 people? How like they do stock or is it time?
Oh my god, this is one of the big reasons that a lot of the I guess you call them proper fighting game community really doesn't like Smash Brothers about, because since Smash is kind of a silly party game, it can be played competitively, but you have to put a lot of artificial rules in place. The rules are there's only 4 stages that are tournament allowable out of the 29, I think, that are in the game.
I take it they're like the non-moving stages that are flat.
Yeah,
I take it.
Final Destination, Battlefield, I think the Yoshi's Island stage, and I think Kirby's Dream Land. I don't know.
Final Destination, in my opinion, is one of the best fighting game levels just ever. It's perfect. There's nothing on it.
Well, I'm sure. I don't know if you guys ever heard the
nothing in the way.
The big joke about the Smash Bros. Community is, Fox only Final Destination, no items. That's kind of how the game it turned out. I mean, most people play a handful of characters. There's going to be Marth, there's going to be Fox and Falco and Captain Falcon. And
somebody better be playing Luigi. Luigi.
Never seen a Luigi.
Needs Luigi.
What about Ness? Is Ness popular at the tournaments?
God, no, absolutely not. I've seen like a Jigglypuff once or twice.
That's actually that was always my character was Ness back in the day, at least for the first Smash Brothers.
Generally speaking, you see Marth and Fox or Falco, and maybe a little Captain Falcon. Obviously there are going to be other players and other characters, but that's really going to make up the bulk of probably the top 8 or so.
Crazy. But none of those are my strong. I was always strongest with Ness and Kirby.
Yeah, but at the same time, what you're good at, because you just kind of play it over with friends, much like I do, and everybody, most other people do. These are people who take it really, really seriously and treat it like a competitive fighting game. So the way they play, I've seen what competitive Smash looks like. Is nothing like the way I play the game.
I kind of want to see it. It sounds like it'd be awesome.
It's
playing like super fast, super mobile people.
It is pretty mobile, but they don't really hit each other very hard. It's a lot of little pokes, little juggles until their health gets high enough, get one hit off the edge, and then edge guard like a motherfucker. Edge guard. You can look it up on YouTube. I mean, there's tons of Smash videos, and it's fun for a little bit to watch, but I'm pretty much a snob about what I watch as far as fighting games. I don't even like watching MVC3, to be quite honest, but It's a good game. I don't really
Man,
like watching it.
I haven't thrown Smash Brothers in the old Wii in a while. Maybe I need to do that tonight because you
Give
know
it an old go.
you know, honestly, I barely even remember Brawl. Like, I remember playing Melee a lot, and I remember the N64 one a lot, but Brawl, I just don't remember.
Brawl was just a crushing disappointment to anybody who was a major Melee fan. There's just something about it. Yeah, one of the other cool things about at EVO this year, Killer Instinct's going to be making a demonstration. I think they're going to be releasing 1 or 2 new characters, so it's not just going to be Jago and Saberwolf. I think Glacius will be done. I know I've seen some leaked video of a little bit of Glacius being played. I don't know who else, or it might just be Glacius, and I think they're going to be announcing some new characters as well. But the new Killer Instinct looks awesome, and more information about it is definitely really cool.
So wait, are they going to be adding new characters to the new Killer Instinct? Do you know? Like
they haven't
IPs?
said. I mean, they've only confirmed, like the actual creators have only confirmed 6 characters so far. But there's pretty much no reason not to expect every character from the original 2 games and maybe new characters. They haven't said anything about new characters, but there's only 6 of them confirmed right now, which is Jago, Saberwolf, which are playable, were playable back at E3. Then Glacius, Cinder, Fulgor, and I think Spinal.
I'm surprised there's no B Orchid.
She's probably, like I said, she's probably going to be in. She's just not confirmed yet. They haven't. The developers have not come out and said yes, she will be here. But I mean, there probably will be. Riptor's been kind of confirmed. I think they've hinted pretty heavily at like some sort of dinosaur character, though it may not necessarily be Riptor. But I think
It'd be funny if they brought in some characters from Primal Rage.
Oh man, if they made a new Primal Rage, day one buy. Day one buy.
Come on,
It's like Congo
Killer.
video
Oh
game.
man, how awesome would it be if Killer Instinct started a whole new thing of all these old weird fighting games getting reboots?
Dude, that would be amazing.
There'd be nothing wrong with that.
Dude, Clay Fighter
Weapon
on
Lord?
the Xbox One.
Oh, Clay Fighter,
Dude,
Weapon
a new
Lord.
Clay Fighter would be so sweet in
You would
HD.
lose your fucking mind, right? Like lose it. Like just
Dude.
out the window. Like
Play the shit out of that game.
Yeah, I would totally lose it for a new Clay Fighter.
I mean, just a bunch of those old fighting games, you know, they're not necessarily super balanced or anything like that, but they're just so goofy and so much fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah,
if you're the
so fun to
taffy
play.
guy in Clay Fighter, you win.
Yeah, those games had fun down. They do how to make a game fun. But I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to all the other games. I'm just gonna be sitting and watching fighting games all weekend, and I'm looking forward to it so much.
I don't blame you, dude. That sounds awesome. I might end up doing it too.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. It's cool that they stream the whole thing free.
Oh
I
yeah,
take it
there's
it's gonna be on Twitch.
Yes, there's gonna be 2 or 3 major streams. There's gonna be 3 major streams, and you can go to the site, and I do believe they have the schedule set up of when they're gonna be streaming what on which stream it's gonna be.
Also, you know, speaking of streaming and the next-gen consoles, I don't know if we've discussed this before, but you know how the PS4 is going with Ustream and the 360 is going with Twitch? How do you think that's going to affect their sales and whatnot? Because, I mean, Twitch is definitely the more popular one to use for game streaming.
Well, I don't
Twitch
know
is
if
the
you
big one.
guys saw, but Steam partnered up with Twitch too.
Nice.
Oh
Yeah, so they're integrating Twitch into Dota 2.
Yeah, so they're integrating
Yep.
Twitch into Dota. I heard about that. That's a really good
So-
idea because I mean currently, like the #1 game streamed on Twitch pretty much at all times of the day is
It's always
League
League.
of Legends.
Yeah, Smite has an integrated Twitch support function too.
Then #2 usually bounces between like.
Damn, they're going to put XSplit out of business, man, if every game has it just built in.
Well, I mean, I think you still have to. You might have to go through. Maybe not. Yeah, just the point is it's gonna be Twitch. It's gonna be Twitch. Especially when that whole big scandal happened with owned.tv. Like, you know, that pretty much cemented it, at least in my head.
What happened with that? I haven't heard anything about that.
If memory serves, it was a while ago, so if I'm wrong, I formally apologize. But I believe what it was is a bunch of the people who were streaming weren't getting paid.
Wait, I didn't know you could get paid for streaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can partner with any
It's-
streaming
yeah.
company. You can partner with
Like-
Twitch, anything like that.
Twitch is
And you
basically
make-
just like YouTube in that regard. Once
Man,
you
I'm-
start getting enough viewers, you can get partnered by them, and then you start playing ads and
Mm-hmm.
Playing video
per
games is
ad.
wrong, apparently.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can absolutely generate revenue. If I remember
So-
what happened correctly, it was that a bunch of people weren't getting paid from owned.
With these built-in apps, then for streaming, can you get paid for those too, or does the money just get collected by the game company?
Well, you would have to have a Twitch account to link it to your game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of that's done through the Twitch account. So.
I do kind of wonder because there's
Okay.
another thing. A lot of the popular league streamers, you know, they have their own little custom overlays over the game because a lot of them are the pro players, and they get sponsored by, you know, I mean,
This, that, or the other thing.
you're wearing some on your face there. Some I think Team Solo Mid is sponsored by Gunners.
Yep, they
Yeah.
are. As a matter of fact.
And one of the things that like a lot of the streamers will do, they'll have their overlay and they'll have a little section that has, you know, basically their sponsors rotating. Basically, it's advertisement, but you know, that's their sponsors. They give them money to go to tournaments and they make a lot of the stuff happen. So I kind of wonder how integrated streaming would do like that. I mean, I don't think standard streaming is going to go away.
How do you go about getting sponsored? Like, you just have to be good at a game and you can get sponsored, or what?
It's exactly like sports, dude. It's free agency. The way it works in League of Legends is if you get to the top of the competitive tier, you get placed into Challenger ranking, and Challenger ranking is where teams draft players from.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's done like sports. You become a free agent.
If you have enough money yourself, you can put together a 5-man league team and sign up for a tournament. I think.
Yeah,
I think you got to pay
interesting.
the entry fee, but you know you'll be in pools, but
So-
if you make it high enough, yeah. You
So
can.
for someone like me who's like, I mean, I would consider myself fairly good at Call of Duty. How would I go about getting sponsored for that? Do you guys have any idea?
Open tournaments, streaming is a good way to notice things like that.
Yeah, a lot of open tournaments. If you know anybody or know anything close to you that they actually have like a competitive team, look at what it takes to start getting into, you know, online tournaments, you know, bigger tournaments. I don't know how big of a competitive scene Call of Duty actually has.
It's pretty good. I know 2 competitive Call of Duty players. So, I mean, it's weird because it's like console esports. So it's not. I mean, it's not. You know, MOBA huge. We're not seeing
Well,
$1 million tournament checks.
You can kind of say the same thing for Street Fighter. There's a couple, well, not just Street Fighter, but you know, fighting games in general. There's several players that basically that is their full time.
I would say that's pretty comparable. I'd say the competitive fighting scene and like the competitive console FPS scene are comparable sizes because Halo's played competitively too. So
Yeah, basically, and especially for fighting games, since it is a one-on-one, basically, you know, you go to a tournament, you pay your entry fee, they put that in the pot, and then whenever the tournament's over, you know, first player takes X% of the pot, second player gets whatever, you know, this, and they pay out up to sometimes top 3, sometimes top 8, sometimes whatever it is for the tournament, and then companies will sponsor the tournament itself, and they'll throw in extra money.
yeah, it's a prize pool.
Like I think right now SNK is throwing in like $1,000 for the King of Fighters pot for Evo, something like that.
Nice.
And then you know however much money each entrant, because whenever you, especially for Evo, whenever you're entering a tournament, you enter for that game's tournament. You have to pay for that game. So if you enter, you know, multiple tournaments, you have to pay the entry fee for each game because that goes into the pot, and that's the money everybody plays for.
So that sounds all funded. Cool. And you said it's in Vegas. Do you know what hotel is hosting it?
No, I don't. I have to actually look that up. I know it's pretty easy to find out. You can just Google Evolution Series 2013.
And I'm doing that now.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to watch it. Competitive fighting games are a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it's just the reaction time is crazy, absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah, some of these guys are so good. It's just disgusting. It's just like
The
oh,
1v1 is definitely an intense format.
Yeah, it's so personal.
Oh,
Like I imagine just being in a room with somebody competing for like a couple grand in Tekken, and you're just supposed to do that, just slapping a gamepad. Just man.
Oh, nice.
best
It's at
part is-
Paris. It's at the Paris Hotel and Casino.
The best part is usually between matches they'll have a crowd cam, and you know people get really excited for fighting games. I mean, you know the whole fighting game competitive scene kind of grew up in arcades. You know, people get really into them. You know, tempers can tend to run a little high. I mean, one of the favorite things I always like to see at Evo is, you know, who's the first person who's going to throw their stick. Oh, there's always
Fuck
somebody
this
who's
game!
fantastic.
Like,
I think it was last year, 2 years ago. The best one was a dude was taunting because he was winning and then ended up losing, and he just threw his stick on the ground, stomped off, and it's like, he was taunting, fuck you, dude.
Rage quit.
No, dude, the best competitive rage quit I've ever seen was in StarCraft 2. It was this player Urza, right? If you look it up, dude, it's so funny. So he's like dominating this guy, right? I can't even remember who the other player is, and I don't know if you've played a whole lot of StarCraft 2. But you can make like illusionary units. You know what I mean? If you're playing Protoss, they're not actual units, but they look like them. And so Urza's crushing this guy, and this guy literally just hallucinates an army of Colossuses. There's literally like one or two, maybe, right? And so he sends up this wall of illusions to Urza, right? And he literally just quits.
Wait a minute, that happened in StarCraft 1 too.
Yeah.
Someone illusioned a huge army, sent it out, they spotted it, immediately GG'd.
Just rage quit, boop, done. Like,
it was,
dude, try shooting one. Like,
yeah, it's like,
got this guy cornered. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my god, so
it's
funny,
the ultimate
dude.
gaming bluff.
Dude,
The
competitive
mind
rage quits. There's nothing better.
The great-
It's like the nip slip of video gaming. It's
they're so good. The great thing about fighting games, watching them competitively, is that you can hear the crowd. They really get into it every time. Someone gets like a good hit. You just hear, oh yeah! People are screaming left and right. It's hype.
Oh, dude, it's great. I always try to do competitive tournaments whenever I go to cons, because like at Denver Comic Con they have video game tournaments. At Non-Desicon in Denver every year they have video game tournaments, and like, oh man, dude, people get so riled up. It's great, just a live crowd. Oof. I remember doing a Gears of War tournament one year at Non-Desicon, and I got to the semifinal rounds. It was the last four, and I didn't end up placing, but I took the first guy out, and I did it with a chainsaw kill. And the crowd cheered, and the guy just stood up and walked out. He was just like, fuck this. The guy actually walked up and Lancer chainsawed me, and it was like, woo, I'm going to lose, but fuck that guy. Like,
you know what? You may have lost the tournament, but you won. You won.
Dude, exactly. That's the philosophy. Even if you don't win, as long as you have fun or make sure someone else doesn't. So.
You win
in front of a crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
I placed first in my heart.
Yeah, dude. That's the trophy that matters. The trophy of self-worth.
So Persona4.com was registered this week.
You mean 5?
5, sorry. Shit.
Oh my god, you are off the team! Yeah, I mean, Persona 4 is the only one I've played, but Persona 4 is amazing. Kawaii Desu-sama. But like...
I mean, honestly, in my opinion, Persona 4 has to be the best RPG released in the last decade.
Oh man, wait till you play Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, I still gotta play that.
Studio Ghibli, the video game.
Yeah, man, Ni no Kuni. So what exactly is the plot? You're the only one here who's played it. What's the plot like of Ni no Kuni?
Okay, well, little bit of spoiler. It's not too bad. It's like the first 5 minutes, so if you get mad, fucking get over it. The plot of Ni no Kuni is you're this kid, right? And his mom fucking dies. Bada boom, right? So he's all like, oh, my mom's dead, it's the end of the world, because he's a little kid, it's an understandable reaction, you know what I mean? And so his tears wake up a stuffed doll that turns out it was a cursed fairy, and the cursed fairy is from an alternate dimension that's sort of like a fantasy version of the real world, where everybody has their own, version of themselves. And so you go with the doll to the fairy world to rescue the version of your mom there to see if it'll bring her back to life.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's surprisingly heavy at the start, considering it's Studio Ghibli, but I mean, I guess that's not too surprising. A lot of
did make Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, and that's heavy shit.
That thing is insanely depressing.
Yeah, that's no good.
I think it's the only Studio Ghibli movie I refused to watch a second time. That thing was just, it's heartbreaking.
But
it never stops.
It's great. I mean, the adventure itself isn't as heavy and sad or anything like that, but the framing's really good, and so you're constantly hopping in between the fairy world and the real world, and it's definitely got a lot of Pokemon elements, and it's great, dude.
Oh, it's got Pokemans.
Dude, it's got the Pokemans, because the way combat works is you can either play as one of yourself or one of your team members, one of your other 2 team members, right? But you can also summon an avatar, which you can play as and command in battle while the other people are running around casting spells too. So It's really weird. The gameplay's kind of hard to describe. It's something you kind of just need to play. But
Yeah, it sounds cool.
of
Sounds like it's pretty complex battle system, which is always welcomed.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating in the sense that it's like a menu system, so like you have to scroll to defend instead of there being like a dedicated defend button.
No, I prefer that. I like it old school.
Yeah, but it's an active battle setup.
Okay, like Chrono Trigger, so it's ATB.
Kind of. Think more like 12, like Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, okay, so yeah, it's a little bit MMO-y.
Yeah. Like it's good, but it's not perfect. I mean,
Okay.
I still highly rate the game. I mean, the real Pokemon elements come in that pretty much every enemy in the game you can capture and transform into one of those avatars.
You know, speaking of the Pokemons, I canceled my WoW account.
Yeah, good man.
Ooh, yay!
Now just buy Guild Wars and play a real MMO.
That's the first step on the road to recovery.
12 more steps to go. So what else? Right before we started the podcast, we all watched the newest GTA trailer, the gameplay trailer. It looks awesome. I mean, it really looks like they're taking
delicate
GTA to the next level.
understatement. Yeah.
I mean, because GTA 4 really was just a high-res version of GTA 3, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I don't entirely agree with that. The scope was way larger, and I honestly thought the story was better too. I thought the writing was way good. I mean, in all honesty, when I think of like action
there was no
games,
Vice City though.
So where does Roman fit in?
Roman, well, come on, he's my cousin. He's everywhere.
It's just like it has great writing. Where's Roman fit in on that? Big American titty.
Yeah.
You want
Yes,
to go
let's go
bowling?
get drunk, cousin. But I mean, I seriously,
Bowling.
I think
Fuck you, Roman. I'm trying to
great
Make a
action
mob.
sequences. Dude, bank robbery in GTA 4. That's all I'm saying. It's fucking amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of spoilers. I don't fucking know. I'm not mentioning any characters, but seriously, like that mission made the game for me in a really serious way. It's so good.
And it seems like they're really focusing on that with GTA 5, because I mean, you guys are all like robbers and stuff apparently, and it's 3 different dudes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Part of the reason I really liked Payday the Heist, which is a first-person heist game, you've got it, you know what I'm talking about, is the fact that, like, each mission is an actual heist. There's, like, a couple different ways to do it most of the time, you know what I mean? Like, it really puts you in it. You feel like you're a part of it in a really serious way.
Oh
And
yeah,
just-
Payday's pretty cool for that reason. I like it a lot.
And the fact that, especially since that was gameplay footage, the GTA 5 video, the fact that the player can plan out the heists, how you want to do it, which crew you can bring, that's fucking awesome. That's so
Dude.
cool.
And it sounds kind of lame, but the golf mini game looks really good in it.
Yep, you're right. That sounded
Didn't it?
incredibly right.
It's gonna be another one of those things. You just play the game for like 3 hours and realize you haven't done anything.
Oh man, I just sat here watching TV on the TV on my TV. What the fuck?
I got a birdie on hole 9, and
I went diving with sea animals, and I shot a deer, and I saw a bird, and then I went
I mean,
to
that's
golf.
so cool too. They're incorporating hunting and shit, and actual swimming, not just you don't drown when you hit the water, like actual diving in caves and enemies and shit.
They really just increase the scope of the game like tenfold.
But that's what you need. If you think about it, Grand Theft Auto is the sandbox game. It is.
Really, what sandbox did you do? You could steal a car, kill people.
You know what was
And
another good
do
sandbox
missions.
game though was Red Dead Redemption. Man, that was a fucking awesome game.
Yeah, I loved Red Dead Redemption, but I was kind of surprised that it got it was a sequel, you know what I mean? I didn't really like Red Dead Revolver. My big problem was Red Dead Revolver and Gun came out at about the same time, and I don't know if you played Gun, but Gun was fucking sick.
I haven't. I have played the original. I didn't enjoy Red Dead Revolver either. I didn't like the original very much.
Yeah, I didn't either, but Red Dead Redemption was amazing. It was Grand Theft Cowboys.
Yeah, dude.
And then there was Grand Theft Cowboys Zombie Bigfoot.
I would honestly say on this generation, like Red Dead Redemption has to be somewhere in my top 5.
I'd say top 10. I don't know if I'd say top 5.
I thoroughly enjoyed that game.
Like, the multiplayer was really good, but it was one of those, I felt like it was too loose. And it was something that they really harped about. They're like, it's one of our first, like, real big multiplayer games. It's multiplayer.
Yeah,
it's multiplayer.
I had a bunch of friends that bought it for the multiplayer. I played it like twice, and I was like, this isn't for me. I preferred the single player mode.
Yeah, which was great. I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just saying.
Also, the zombie DLC was quite awesome.
Yeah, Undead Nightmare is amazing. It's so good. I mean, that's pretty much the standard most DLC is measured at now. It's like an entire other game. Period.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so GTA 5, I mean, just the scope of the new one. And graphically, it's amazing. Like, I used to live in downtown Los Angeles, and there's quite a few buildings in that trailer that I saw that, like, I could completely recognize. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I could go to the hotel that I lived in Los Angeles when the game comes out.
I mean, it looks great.
Look good.
I think it's smart that they're releasing stuff about it now, too, since Saints Row 4 is starting to pick up a lot of steam.
I haven't played any of the Saints Row series, but I've heard a lot of really good things. It's like Squaresoft's version of GTA, right? Or
No, that was Sleeping Dogs.
okay, that's Sleeping Dogs.
It's basically GTA, really goofy and silly.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. See, I've played the entire series. Saints Row 1, I didn't necessarily like because it felt like they were trying really hard to just be a Grand Theft Auto clone. And for me, the goofiness just didn't really fit because it seemed like they were just like it felt so heavy-handed. They were just like, we're fucking Grand Theft Auto, dude. The end. And then there's a secret shop with like dildos and shit. And it was like, okay, that's kind of fucking weird, whatever. And then Saints Row 2, they started to like run with it a little bit more. I kind of started to appreciate it as, you know, a Grand Theft Auto satire as opposed to, you know, just somebody trying to take a stab at the sandbox game. And a lot of people feel split on Saints Row the Third because, I mean, the wackiness isn't even remotely hidden. It's in your face. Like, you know, right off the bat, you can go to the store and buy a dildo sword. It's not a joke. Like,
Wait,
you can,
what?
Yeah, one of the basic weapons you can buy from the store is a like 6-foot long dildo.
Who's the developer for this game?
That's a good question. I can check real quick.
Also, the game also will change its own tone at like almost a breakneck pace. I remember my roommate was playing it, and I saw him playing it, and he was flying a fighter jet shooting lasers. And I was like, "What game are you playing?" He goes, Saints Row.
What?
Yeah, but Saints Row the Third.
And then earlier, I'd seen him like fighting demons with a sword. I was like, what?
What? Really?
Apparently, he's playing like an MMO, like he's playing like a fantasy game in the game.
That
And then
I think I need to play this game. This sounds extremely interesting.
Yeah,
It's
next
very strange.
next time you're at my house, I can lend you it.
Oh, you have a word.
I can't find who it is right now. I have the collector's edition guide because I picked it up because the art's amazing. But Saints Row the Third, some people thought that it went too much with the wacky, but I thought that like them just really just full on committing to it, like kind of spoiler ish towards the end of the game. You have the choice to get Burt Reynolds as a sidekick. Like not like somebody who's supposed to be Burt Reynolds. It's not like Kurt Reynolds. It's fucking Burt Reynolds. Period. Like that's not a joke.
The developer is Volition, published by THQ.
What else have they made? Also, speaking of THQ, did you hear they're getting sued again today?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What
I
this
think
time?
I think Microsoft's suing them now. For they acquired one of their IPs and they're suing them for the pre-order money that they took in.
Hilarious.
They made Free Space, Summoner, and Red Faction.
Oh, Red Faction, strange.
Summoner surprised me. That one. That's
Yeah,
what
so
gave
I
rise-
loved Summoner 2. Summoner 2 was great.
I don't
That's
think I
what,
played any in that series.
There's some PS2 nostalgia right there going on.
Isn't Summoner the one that started that whole the D&D thing?
Oh, the like yeah, I know what you're talking
the
about.
D&D
Yeah, I
that-
kind of did.
Are there any girls there?
Yeah, am I getting drunk? Roll to see if I'm getting drunk. Yeah, yeah, no, that was Summoner.
Oh, that might not have been. Was that the what's the original version of that? Was that from Summoner, or did they just do a?
I'm pretty sure
animation
it's
for
from
it?
Summoner. I know the one that you're talking about, the whole like 8-bit one, you know. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the original came from Summoner. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I'm that's where I'm putting my chip.
Oh,
But
actually, apparently it was from a comedy album produced in
oh
1996 by the Dead Alewives.
oh well, there you go.
Sketches titled something or other.
House
Okay.
takes the chip. So
It was I think it was the first animated version of it. I mean, yeah, it was hilarious though.
see, I didn't really mind the ridiculousness in Saints Row the Third because I knew it was coming, and so it's something that I was like, okay, well, I know that it's just going to be literally fucking nonsense the entire time. And like the mission setup in it, like you'll find the mission sitting around and you'll go up and just accept them and it'll do like a mini game as like the mission, you know what I mean? They have ones where they'll just be like, here's a fucking tank. Go see how much damage you can cause. Go for it. Have fun. And I really appreciated that in the game. But I'm getting a little bit nervous about Saints Row the Fourth. I've seen some of the stuff, and like the game starts out with you as president. That's the plot of Saints Row the Fourth, is that the Saints have become the government in the U.S.
Wow.
And so like one of your first decisions is to cure AIDS or solve world hunger. Like, it's ridiculous. Aliens are invading, and you get superpowers. And like one of the new weapons is a dubstep gun. It's a gun.
I have heard of the dubstep gun.
When I heard the dubstep gun, I thought it was the stupidest thing I had ever heard. And then actually seeing it, it's not that bad.
Have you ever seen the
Wub, wub,
Corridor,
wub, wub, wub.
Have you ever seen the Corridor Digital
Mm,
dubstep gun thing? Have you ever heard of Freddie Wong?
no.
He's one of the YouTube superstars, and he does really cool videos. He does really good special effects. And there's some friends of his that also do another thing kind of like it. They're called Corridor Digital, and they basically just do little videos of whatever, just with really cool special effects. And one of them they did dubstep guns, which is really cool.
Are you talking about Mike Diva? Because Mike Diva did the dubstep guns on YouTube.
Talking about the Corridor Digital one. I don't know if I'm sure it's been done before. It's been done since. I'll grab a link. We can check it out after we finish recording.
So there's one other thing I forgot to mention before we started that I want to talk about. Me and Donovan have just been pining over this. The Retron 5.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
All the blood just went straight to my penis. I cannot even stress how excited I am for that thing, dude. You should have never shown me that link.
So good. Oh my god, I can't wait until it's out. I want one so bad. And they're saying it's going to be under $100.
Really? Where the fuck did they say that?
On an interview I watched on YouTube with one of the dudes from Hyperkin.
Oh, dude, fuck you. I'm gonna buy 8.
Dude,
That's
why
just-
wouldn't you?
Yeah, like, oh my god.
So I think Josh just mentioned you don't know what the Retron 5 is, do you?
Oh, just found out Mike Diva is the guy who did the music for the dubstep guns video.
I think he did the visuals. Capex did the music.
Oh, Claypex, Mike Diva. Huh. Well, it's under Corridor Digital. Maybe is that just the guy who's from Corridor Digital? Is that his name? I don't actually know their names.
It might be. He's got a few YouTube channels. He's pretty popular. But yeah, dude. So the Retron 5, man. It is a It's a console. It runs. I believe it's running Android OS. And
Yeah,
essentially, what
is.
it is it's an emulation machine, but it allows you to put your actual carts into the game or into the console. And it has a port for Sega Genesis, NES, SNES, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and one other one. I can't remember what it is.
Game Boy Color. Don't forget Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color, yeah.
You're forgetting it also has Genesis.
Yeah,
It's
Genesis.
It's got Sega slots on it.
And I don't. It might even do.
I'm pretty
Sega
sure it has
Master
more.
System.
I think the list was like 8 consoles.
And
It also has an SD card slot too.
It plays the PAL versions of all of the games too. So if you have a European copy of a game or a Japanese copy of a game, you can just throw your Famicom game in there, or like a European Terranigma, something like that, something super rare that you couldn't play.
What's the controller look like?
Well, it's actually kind of cool because it's got the Android OS in the whole system. Most modern retro consoles are a console on a chip, but since it's got the OS, it's got like localized save. It's got like a home menu. Like you can save on games that don't have saves because it does local save states. You can
So it's
change.
kind of like it basically treats actual games like you're running on an emulator box.
Basically, yeah, it's
Except
pretty
it's
dope.
an actual physical console. It's got
And
The controller's got a home button. It's this weird kind of rectangular looking thing, but it also has ports for all the original pads too.
Yeah, so like on each side of the console, there's like 3 ports. You can plug in a Sega Genesis, NES, or SNES controller and just use that. The other thing that's really cool too is with the basic controller I was watching, they showed that it like the actual D-pad or whatever, it clicks like a Neo Geo pad.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
Oh, that's sick.
So
I was worried it was going to be one of those loose rotator balls, you know what I mean?
yeah, no, it's actually clicky, so you're gonna have this like just fucking amazing analog feel to it. I'm so excited. I want the Retron 5 right now.
Yeah, dude, no joke, seriously. Like, I threw my wallet at my computer and nothing happened. Like, what the fuck? I thought we lived in the future.
Why isn't this at my house right now?
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, they're saying well, they were saying August was when the release would be. And it seems like there's a chance it might be getting pushed back, which wouldn't be too surprising considering it's such a small corporation, and they said they really want to fine-tune it so the product you get in the end is just perfect. So
Well, it'll literally be the best modern retro console. Like, bar none, not even close.
yeah, there's no
That's
competition.
a really interesting looking controller. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little weird looking, but I mean, it looks like it would work.
You can tell. I mean, they're definitely going for the retro feel. They want it to look like a NES controller. Back in the days of the nice blocky controllers. I
Yeah.
can see that being really actually cool. Has shoulder buttons, macro buttons, huh?
Yeah, they're also saying if you're playing with one of the original pads, since there's no home button on it, there's like some ridiculous input mapped to every console for you to input and get back to the home.
Interestingly enough, too, you can remap every controller key.
Yeah,
So
which is also cool.
even on your retro controllers, like, I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Cool World for the SNES.
Mm-mm.
With Cool Spot?
No, it was based on this movie. I think Brad Pitt.
That
was in
movie
it.
is
I never
terrible.
saw
I
it.
hate that movie. It's so bad. It's on Netflix.
I'll have to sit through it or something. But
Oh, right, that thing.
yeah,
I
I believe it was 1995 or something like that. It came out. But the thing about it is, I played the game, and by the way, it's a terrible game. Don't play it. But the control scheme, the jump button is mapped to Y and not B. Why the fuck would you ever do that?
Yeah, that makes very little sense. That's not good.
Or
I
if
think
you want
it's
to think of it more modern, it's like
Really
instead
cool.
of,
It kind of shows like the whole modern take on retro too.
yeah, like having Y as your jump in a retro game is the most frustrating thing I think I can think of at all. I mean, it's just terrible.
Yeah, button mapping's huge. I mean, it's a modern trait. The fact that they can be like, well, these games are dated. They need localized saves because most of them they don't have them. These games were dated and potentially made by companies that didn't necessarily know what they were doing because it's so early on. So we have button mapping and we have support for all sorts of different controllers and things. I mean, it's great. I can't wait.
They literally took like anything you could have possibly wanted with a retro system and did it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the console looks slick too, like the two-toning on it and shit. Like it looks like a retro console. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's definitely something you're gonna want to have in your living room. I mean, like just having that sit next to your TV. Oh man, that looks so good.
Yeah, just look at the picture of it. That thing's really cool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You know, the other thing that's really great about it too is I don't know how often you guys boot up your old NESs anymore, but when you're playing old NES games, they don't always start, and sometimes they need to be cleaned. Sometimes you have to put them in the system, get all the connections to work because there's the 72-pin connector on the NES.
Oh yeah.
And,
I mean, well, there's that song in it. It's like driving somebody else's car. It's really hard to get somebody else's NES to work because they know all the tricks to get it to work and you don't.
yeah, I always my trick for getting my NES to work is when I put the game in, I don't put it in all the way, and I leave about a millimeter out, clipping on top of where where it would hit the system, and then I force it down so it just jams it in and down at the same time, and usually that seems to work.
That used to work for mine. Then I would push it down, but not let it. You know how when you push it down to put it in, it'll spring back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
I would like take like another controller or something and jam it in there so it stayed down. Usually that worked.
You know what I hear, actually, according to the interwebs and like more recent retro stuff, the actual best way to get a NES game to work is once you put it in, you press it down, and then you grab it by both sides, and then you jiggle it like that. And eventually it's supposed to be able to work with the 72-pin connector.
Isn't one of the other things where you can just kind of unscrew some stuff and bend the pins back out a little bit? 'Cause a lot of times they'll just get kind of pushed down.
Brave.
Yeah.
Brave.
Well, and I've seen a video online of a guy who made a mechanically loading NES. So you just put the game in, and it kind of loads it like a VCR would. And he made this custom 72-pin connector that it opens up, and then when the game goes in, it just clamps down on the connections, and it's super badass. I'd seriously want one of those in my life.
That's amazing. That reminds me, I think I saw an NES mod where a guy put the game in, pushed it down, then just lifted the top half of the console, and there was a screen.
Oh, really?
He'd cut the console in half lengthwise and basically turned it into its own little game.
That's awesome.
Thing.
That's so cool.
But it still
You'd
used
be a
all the original
if you
stuff.
brought that on an airplane.
And who wants to play Duck?
Well, it had to be an LCD screen, right? So you couldn't play light gun games because you have to have a CRT for light gun games.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it would be an LCD.
So all those classics what is it, Point Break for the PlayStation 1? It's going to be getting harder and harder to play those games considering there's less and less CRTs in existence nowadays.
Well, I mean, with everything having the infrared cameras and whatnot, I mean, you can just point, the Wii does it, Kinect probably can just do light gun games by itself. You don't really have to use the light gun anymore.
Actually, that raises an interesting question. With the Retron 5, can you do light gun games, do you think?
Probably. I mean, you can plug in an NES controller. I don't know why you couldn't just plug in
Well, it's just it would be
the
what
thing,
the sensors would read.
Yeah, the thing is the way the light gun works is it looks for a white square when you hit it. So if you aim a light gun at a
Light
lamp,
bulb.
you can win.
Every time, yeah. If you wanted to cheat in Duck Hunt, yeah, you just point at a light bulb and click.
But
click,
the
click,
thing
click,
is HD TVs have a different latency than CRT televisions. So a lot of times the light gun doesn't work anymore. But I'm wondering with the Retron 5 if they're going to have a way, because when you first buy a Guitar Hero game or something like that, you have to configure the lag or whatever.
The input and audio lag.
So I'm wondering if they're going to put something in there to be able to compensate for the HD TV lag, so you can actually play Duck Hunt on an HD TV.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. I miss playing light gun games. They don't. I mean, the Wii kind of is a light gun. Every game on the Wii is kind of like a light gun game. But I mean, old traditional light gun games are pretty freaking cool.
Hey, are you gonna break out your old Super Scope?
Oh yeah, play a little bit of Yoshi's Island.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder, is the Retron going to be compatible with the Power Glove?
Oh God, I mean,
I don't know if you'd want it to be, but.
Well, I mean, because it has those three things you have to mount on the three sides of your TV, and then you plug it in, and I imagine it would be because it's all analog, but I don't think that's what you should be spending your time doing.
No, I just always like bringing up the Power Glove because I think it's such a piece of crap.
Oh, dude, whatever. That thing gives you superpowers. And
it's the coolest piece of crap. Don't get me wrong. It's the coolest piece of crap.
I love the Power
ever.
Glove. It's so bad. Fucking the Wizard, 1989.
It's so ridiculous. Oh my God.
Oh, jeez.
Right on, guys. Well, I think this is a great place to wrap up the podcast.
Us having a retro nerdgasm.
Yeah.
That's a gentle term for it. Need
Yep.
a towel. Jeez. Wipe all these pixels off my face.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to contact us, you can email us at Zock Gaming Podcast at gmail.com.
Oh. It sounded dangerously close to being correct.
Panel says.
Hey, 3 weeks in a row. Right. So, right on. Yeah, feel free to send us your hate mail, your comments, your questions, your dick pics.
No more dick
Keep
pics.
it classy here on the Zock Gaming Podcast.
The number one podcast in our heads and classy gentlemen everywhere.
They all get forwarded straight to Josh's mailbox where he proceeds to file them.
I'm redoing the wallpapering in my room. Come on, I need more.
Oh, man.
10 isn't enough.
I want to get some variety in here.
Needed something a little bit more ethnic.
Oh yeah, spice it up a little.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Zock Gaming Podcast, episode 5. Thanks for listening, and this is us signing out. Have a good one.
Catch you guys later.
See you, everybody.
Woo!
All right.